to you probably prior to that. And I would always like, do any of you guys follow leaders in the company? And then when you're in proximity with them, you like fangirl out and don't talk to them. That was me with Sherry Lynn. And my husband was like, stop being crazy and go speak. So finally I introduced myself, and I'm so glad that I did.
Yay! I'm so glad you did too. Well, congratulations, because what month did you go presidential? Like recent, right?
Yeah, in April.
April, yay!
Yeah.
So next stop, ambassador.
Yes. We're working really hard. The team's hashtag is ambassador or August ambassador, but we'll see. August needs to look a little different than June, but it's okay.
Hey, August, we're cheering you on. You got this. You can and you will. Well, will you start off by sharing your story a little bit? Maybe just tell us like how you found it works, and kind of how you got started, and maybe just walk us through like what did you do to hit Ruby Diamond? Just like some of those, because I know there's a lot of people on here that are probably like, Ruby's my goal this month or Diamond. Kind of hit us through that, and then we can go through more of like, what you do now in your journey and stuff.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so, and if you watched on the Show Me the Money call last night, you may have heard, a little bit about it, but for the most part, I think my story is different. A lot of us watched people on social media, and I was in such an insecure spot in my life, such a bitter spot. I didn't even watch people, you guys. I immediately unfriended, removed, blocked. I was like out of sight, out of mind. And I knew that businesses like this existed. My enroller I actually previously worked for. So I knew what she did, but I had unfollowed, didn't have any desire to partake at all. I was really ignorant though. So fast forward, she had been in the business for well over a year, and one of my friends told me that they had done the cleanse, they really liked it, and they were like, no, Lauren, it's cool, like it's a great product, just figure it out. I had to unblock her, you guys, to message her. And the reality of it is that even with a loyal customer discount, she explained the loyal customer program to me. I knew that we had the $36 at that time, but I didn't know that we would have it the following 2 months. My husband was on a business trip in Vegas, so he was 3 hours behind me. He wasn't even awake yet, so there was no like conversating about it. Maybe there should have been, but there wasn't. And I did what a lot of people do. I went silent. I didn't want to say, I can't afford this. And it was a tough moment for me. I still remember what it felt like. I was in my kitchen. I was a full-time baker. We did custom cookies and cakes locally, and I had an Etsy shop, so we shipped all over. And I worked about 80 hours a week. My husband was out of town, so I literally worked overnight the night before. And I was standing there thinking, I just worked overnight baking cookies for other families, and I can't even spend $36 on a cleanse for myself. And went silent. So she sent me a message back, and you guys write this down. If you get anything out of this call, maybe this follow-up message will be it for you. But she said, hey, Lauren, I just wanted to make sure. Were you interested in trying the cleanse as a customer or making some extra money as a distributor? You guys, she had no idea what was going on inside of our house. Everyone around us thought we had a really successful business. What they didn't know is, our thriving bakery was created to pay off the remaining debt loan from the previous failed business we had. So I never once received any type of compensation for that work. We were just trying to get back to like level ground. And so she didn't know that. And I still didn't answer. I Googled. I did like the worst thing we could do, right? But you know what? God's hand was in that, because I went to their work site. Thank God I didn't read the crazy like reviews. And that's actually where I saw stories like Cami. I saw Sherry Lynn's. They had several different kind of top income earners. And so I started reading their stories. And then I really got like stalker level, and I went and looked at their Facebook pages, and I was like, okay, these are normal people. Maybe I can do this. Like, surely they're not all loving Jesus and this is a scam, right? Like those are the things that were going through my head. So I was like, okay, why not? And I didn't even know what I was getting into, you guys. Not a clue. I saw on the income chart that you can make an extra $200 a month as an executive. And what that meant in my mind was that I could sleep on Friday nights. Our 9-inch round cakes were $28 and I knew exactly how many we had to make every weekend and where we cut off orders. And I was like, okay, wait, if I can cut out that many cakes, that means that I don't have to work overnight on a Friday. And that was my plan for when Jake woke up that morning in Vegas. I was going to explain to him, I enrolled with $99 that we didn't have, but this is my plan. I'm going to make $200. I'm going to be able to sleep on Fridays. That was it, right? So when I enrolled, eSuite was down. There was no eSuite training. They were redoing it. I have an incredible enroller, but she's super fast paced. She's not red. So I didn't know what the steps to success were. I didn't know what a chart was. I didn't know anything except to Google and YouTube, right? And I'm a baker. I worked with my hands. So I couldn't be on my phone all the time, you guys. I didn't have this massive network. I didn't have this massive social platform, but I could listen. And this is what I think took me to Ruby, took me to Emerald, took me to Diamond, which, by the way, I didn't enroll my first distributor for 3 weeks into the business, and I promoted to Diamond on my 39th day. So it doesn't matter where you are right now, it can look so insanely different. So that was from day 21 to day 39, you guys. It can look so different. And what I attribute to that was not necessarily as terrible as it sounds. It wasn't necessarily like this rigid list. It was my best. Every day I was committed to just my best. And I knew things that I should do, that I could do. And I had heard from all different sources on social media. And I think because I went and I found like those top income earners on the It Works page, and then I subscribed to their YouTube channels, and I listened to trainings like this over and over and over again before I even knew ingredients and products or what their names were or what they did. My belief was like sky high because I was just listening to all of these people who had done it. And I had no clue what it was going to take to do it. I was just willing to show up every day. And if that meant I got a Facebook post in and I sent 10 messages, because you guys, this is so funny. It was an old school, like Eric Worre YouTube training. He said, make a hundreds list. And like, I never for a minute thought, go to my Facebook list or go to my phone. I like legit had a piece of paper. I wrote down 100 names. I sent them, like my life story, vomit message. Every single one of them ignored it and told me no. And I just kept going. Like I just kept showing up. And so some days that may have been 10 messages. Some days that may have been 5. Some days it may have been 30. But every day I was committed to my best. And because of that, I didn't wrestle at night when I went to bed. Does that make sense to you guys? Maybe you have a 6 list, or even if you do, maybe it is the steps to success. But I think whatever your standard is for yourself, only you can set that for yourself. Not your peers, not Sherry Lynn, not your enroller, not your mentor, not your husband. Only you can go to bed at night and decide, like, if you feel satisfied or disappointed in yourself. And I knew that no matter what the outcome in this was, is that I just wanted to go to bed and feel satisfied and say, okay, I tried, family. Like I did my best and I tried. And because of that, and a lot of people are like, well, don't tell my teams that. But you know what? I'm going to be real and honest. Like I wasn't obsessing over a chart. I wasn't obsessing over boxes. I was just enrolling anyone who else was excited. And on it was a Friday night. We went Diamond that following Sunday. My enroller called me and she was like, hey, Lauren, I don't know if you know, but you're only like 2 distributors charted from Diamond. And y'all, I was just trying to go executive. So I was like, what? Like, what? And like magic happened in that next 48 hours. And you could absolutely tell God's hand was in that, because it was never our plan. It's still hard to even tell the story sometimes, because it's like it wasn't even ours to tell. But I think I just did it backward. I grew my belief before I grew my knowledge. And I just showed up and I did my best every day.
I love that. And I like, I love what you said is, you wrote out and you asked 100 people. And even if some of those 100 said no, obviously others said yes. So you kept asking. You didn't
Yes.
let the first no or the second no or even 100 people say no, because to go diamond, and when you went diamond, it was a chart of 20 something people. So you may have not
Yes.
told all 20 something, but you definitely were enrolling people and then teaching others. And I think that comes from the more asks, you start getting those yeses. Is that what you would say? Like eventually just different people jumped on. And what do you think caused them to join you? Was it, you think, your excitement, your belief? What do you think, Lauren?
Yeah. Okay. So if you ever write down a list of potentials, you guys, be like a hoarder and keep it forever, because I still have my original list, and out of those 198 are now team members or loyal customers and have been since the moment that they enrolled. So I'm super proud of that. And I love sharing that with people, especially when I have a new team member and they're like, everyone told me no. And I'm like, great. That means that you're going presidential diving. Like, you were on the right path. They all told you no. Great. Let's celebrate that, right? So I think because number one, I didn't take it personally. When I enrolled, and I can remember, like, because I had to explain this to my husband. He was like, "You spent how much on what? What happened?" But I can remember telling him, I was like, "Babe, I want to do this different. There was a reason why I was never open to hearing this, why I was never willing to look at it. And I just want to make sure that, like, if I was hiding in the corners and shame of like our debt and our survival, that means there are other people out there like me that we have no idea, right? So I think whenever I went and had a conversation with people, I understood, like, people come with layers, man. Like, they don't know what they need. Their circumstance could change tomorrow. And I went in with the belief that, can we all agree, at some point in everyone's life, like everyone's life, it may not be now, it may not be in 20 years, but at some point in their life, they're going to have a health and wellness or beauty goal, right? Yes. And they're going to have a financial goal. That's inevitable. I always say to our team, that's science, y'all. Like, that is science. The art is that they think of you when they do. So when I go and I talk to people, it's 100% not personal, no pressure. I am not emotionally attached to their answer at all, because in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, it's totally okay, because you're going to. And my job is just to make sure that when you do, that I'm the one that you think of. And I think that's why. I think that's why they come back.
That's why they come back. So when you got people that started to just like sign, so it took you 3 weeks to get your first distributor, and then in like 30 something days you went diamond. So how did those people that were joining you, who were they? Were they like people you knew, or acquaintances, family, friends? Like, for someone that's new on here that's like, hey, I want to go diamond in 39 days. What was it that,
It was a good mix. So my very first distributor was a social media stranger, and she never even took herself off commission hold. So there's that. But so there's hope for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I got her fast start bonus we actually used to enroll my husband. I couldn't even enroll my husband at first. We just couldn't afford that. But some of the others, believe it or not, more people from high school, oddly enough, were initially my people. The people that I wrote on that 100s list were not like the first ones. They actually came much later. But so I would say, like, social media acquaintances, so many people who initially enrolled as a loyal customer when I first started watched me over those like first couple of weeks. And you guys, I think it's so important, like, especially in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, in the middle, in the end, like every day. It's so important that we show up every day, because people, it's almost like they're waiting to see, like, how serious are you? And think about that for a minute, because if you're a brand new distributor, right, and you're not sure if you're going to be sticking with this in 3 months, if you're not sure if you're going to be with this in a year, then how dare you have the audacity to tell someone that they can trust you with their health and wellness goals, right? Or their financial goals. Because if you're not sure, then they're going to feel that. And it's kind of, doing them a great disservice to say, hey, I want to help you and I want to support you, but you're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? So I think like I just made it so clear that I was planted, that I was all in, that I knew that this maybe sounded crazy and came out of nowhere, but I was excited and that I believed in what I was doing, and that there was never any room or waiver for people to think, that I wasn't tunnel visioned and going to be, sticking with them to do that. So I think like it's just super important that you share with people like I am planted, and that we can also market, ourselves as a tool and resource. It's us first and the products are secondary. So you just got to make sure that you're showing up for people first and then adding on the products or the business.
Okay, so then that kind of brings us to, so what are those things, Lauren, that you do that to work your business, to grow your business, to sign customers, to sign distributors? Because you obviously promoted fast, and then you're still promoting because you just promoted in, April, right? April. And so what is it that you do? Like, what is like daily, like to work your business? So what would you say to someone who they're just joining your team? They want to go Ruby. They, if you're on here, if you're one of the people on here, feel free, put in the chat what it is you're going for this month. I mean, hey, the month is not over till it's over. We still have what? Do we have 5 days? 1,
Yeah.
3, 4. I mean, and if you count the rest of the night, 5 days plus some extra hours, and a lot can happen then. So, because you essentially went diamond in like 18 days or 14 days. Yeah, I don't know math. So if she can go diamond in 14 days with the old chart, there's a lot.
You can.
Yes, there's a lot of things you can do these next 5 days. So what would you say some things they need to be doing to grow their business, to sign customers, to sign distributors?
Sure. I'm seeing all these promotions come up, and you guys, it just gives me the goosebumps. I'm so excited for all of you. It's so amazing. Okay. So, sorry, I'm messing with my shoe. So how I work my business now is actually different than when I first started. Partly because I think like so much was ignorance on fire, right? Like I was just talking to anyone that I could. And I think it's a fair nod to acknowledge, you guys, social media is going to change. Like the algorithm is going to change. What will not is communication, messaging, actual conversations, and asking. So that obviously is a constant. But 2 years ago, stories weren't a thing. Or if they were, I didn't know how to use them. So stories weren't a thing. Post to post wasn't like, a thing. So it was still like a lot of more predominant like posting, messaging, and live videos initially. And I was all Facebook in the beginning. And like I said, some days it may have been a product post, an opportunity post, and maybe something more or less lifestyle. And then other days I might have been lucky like to get a post up before midnight because I was that busy. But how I incorporated it and what I was committed to, and what we teach our team now, this is actually like a little worksheet that we make, but it has our 6 list at the bottom. And this is what I have done from the beginning. I was committed to telling people happy birthday every single day. Why? Like that may sound kind of crazy. But for me, it was a way to get in my message numbers. It was a way for me to add value to people without asking anything from them. People's Facebook walls get blown up with messages, but not their inbox. So to hear from someone and saying like a sincere, not copy pasted message, happy birthday, you wouldn't believe what that did for my algorithm, because people who weren't in it, or I didn't have like my friends list and stuff printed back then, it was a way for me to reach them and acknowledge them. And then I was committed to a product post, an opportunity post, and a lifestyle post every single day. Like I said, if that couldn't happen in the beginning, and how many of you guys are uncomfortable taking your picture right now? Because I had major issues with that in the beginning. I was so uncomfortable taking a selfie. I did not want my husband to take my picture. I was so weird about that. And I had to get over myself. I had to grow over that, right? So I see so many people say this. So I had to understand that this was a business and that those photos were part of my marketing. Like I had to get over it and figure it out. So that being said, I may have only had one picture that day, and I may have even only had one post. But in my post, so let's say it may have been a picture of my daughter, Bella Grace. And Sherilyn, you do this a lot too. Maybe I had a picture of Bella Grace. But in my text, I'm talking about It's been such a crazy day. I had to do 30 dozen cookies. I'm so thankful. We didn't have keto coffee or anything back then, but I'm so thankful for greens because of blah, 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 mom life. If not for this business, I would have had to take an additional order today, whatever. Does it make sense? So I was dripping all three things in there. There was something about my life. There was something about the business. There was something about the products. And what I would say to you is if your time is tight when you're working the business, prioritize it in that manner of lifestyle, opportunity, and products, because your life should incorporate all three every single day, right? Like that's the job. And if you saying I don't have all day to post on Facebook or my stories, well, that's a lame excuse because you don't have to. You can get it all in one, and with one great photo of your life. And in the beginning, because I struggled with content, I would go to Pinterest. So this is a tip if you hate that. I would go to Pinterest and get like a photo challenge. So it would be like July photo challenge, and on the first it might be hot dogs, you know, for the July or something or whatever. But that was how I learned how to share lifestyle, because that was hard for me too in the beginning. So I was committed to those posts. I was committed to personal development. Again, I wasn't really sure what that looked like in the beginning, but I would listen to a lot of Zooms, and then YouTube would kind of introduce the next video and the next video. And from that, I was exposed to people like Tony Robbins and John C. Maxwell, and then others. And then I would hear leaders talk about podcasts, so I would listen to those. I was committed to checking in with our team page every single day. You can't stay hot if you're not near the fire. Like you just can't. So I didn't have time to check every notification that came on my phone. I didn't have time to check every group text or to do it as soon as it popped up. So what I did was I would say, okay, every day at 7 a.m., every day at 11 p.m., whatever those times were, that was when I checked the team page. But I did every single day. And that's how we teach our new distributors now. I grew my network. You guys, if you get anything, I know I said Dee's follow-up message, which was great, but really, if you do anything, grow your network, and grow your networks some more. This is a silly analogy, but is anyone weird about adding strangers to your network? And for all of you talking in the chat, thank you. I love that because it makes me feel like I'm having a conversation and I'm not like giving a lecture. Okay, so I'm seeing this. You guys, this is a real thing. It's a real thing, right? We struggle with this. I was so weird about this. You know, if you didn't know them personally, you didn't want to add them on Facebook. I don't know why, because on Instagram, we're all about like, how many strangers can I meet in other states and countries? But on Facebook, no way. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, if you struggle with that because you think it's because of your content, know that that's an excuse and that you can actually manage your list to where you can choose who you're sharing content to, okay? So I learned that and had to get over myself there. But secondly, here's an analogy. If Sherilyn and I are fishing and we're both fishing in the same ponds, like the same size, same water, same texture, same fish, her pond has 1,500 fish. My pond has 5,000. We have the same rod. We have the same bait. We have the same conditions. She may actually be a better fisher than me, but who catches more fish? And I'll wait. Somebody answer. I do. Why? Because that's the science of it. It's the science, right? It has nothing to do with skill or talent. Like that's just the science of it. So grow your pond. And how I like to add to my network when I first started, and if I'm talking too much, Sherilyn, please tell me and cut me off, that in the beginning, I was weird about my network, right? So I went to people that I already know, like, and trust. So it started with my husband, then my brother, then my sister-in-law, then her best friend, then my best friend. And I would go to their Facebook page. My first number was 50. I was like, okay, anyone who has 50 friends in common with me, I'm going to friend request. And my logic was, they're just going to assume they know me. Do you guys ever do that? You're like, oh, we have 50 friends in common. We must know each other. So you're like, I like that. So that was my logic. And then I saw what it did for my business. By the way, you guys, this is the very first thing that I did for my business. I got my network to 5,000. I think in my first 2 weeks, I knew that part was the science. If I could take care of science things, then I could work on art later, right? So yeah, and I'm weird too. I don't friend request men, and I don't accept them. But if you do, that's fine. So I would friend request those people. And then I was like, wow, this is really making a difference. So my new number became 20. And then my new number became 5. And then I'm like, we have one friend in common. I don't care if you reject me. I'm going to friend request you. And I forget, even if I friend requested them or not, it doesn't hurt my feelings. And then as I evolved and grew and learned more about branding, on Instagram, it was different. Instagram's a totally different ball game. And I do still somehow apply that in Facebook. I can do it with groups in a way. So for example, I used to be a baker. I'm in baker groups. Why? Because I know how hard they work and how little they make. And so I'm able to talk and stay connected and add to my network that way. I'm a mom of a preteen girl. So I'm in moms of like only child groups, and I'm able to connect with them in that way. I love clothes. I used to work in retail management for 10 years. So I'm in like clothing and boutique groups and things like that. The reason for that is because I can genuinely connect with these people. I'm not going to go join a Star Wars group because it would be like speaking Japanese. I would be like, I have nothing to say. I couldn't genuinely connect with them. Okay. But if you know all about Star Wars, or you are like all into maybe not even keto, maybe you're a vegan lifestyle or knitting, or you love dogs, or whatever, you can be in groups like that. And it's an incredible way to genuinely connect with people prior to adding them to your network in that group. And then after there's been a connection, then I go back and I friend request them, and it made a major difference. Similar concept on Instagram, like I talked about on the panel, except that I utilize hashtags and locations. Like I love Target. I search Target at least once a week, and I add moms who are shopping at Target because we're going to have something in common. I add people from Starbucks. Why? Because they love coffee. And if I can pull them into my world and we have something in common, then I'm going to be able to drip our products and our lifestyle, on them. So that's how I build my business then, and some of how I do it now. We did have it very much a season for Host to Post. Are you guys heavy into Host to Post? Let me see in the chat. So I'll be like super transparent. When we went triple, it was because of Host to Post. It was like, it rocked our world. And then we went into this season, because what do we know? We know that social media changes, the algorithm changes, and that things can get tough sometimes, right? Do you guys ever feel like maybe you're backed into a corner and you're like, why isn't this working? But we keep doing the same thing, right? So our team kind of got to this point with Host to Post where we were like, okay, wait a minute, something has to change. We have to pivot. And that's one of our favorite words. We use the little GIF from Friends with Ross and the couch. Anyway, you have to be old like me to get that. But it's funny. So we'll be like, pivot when something's not working. And we had a really big learning because are any of you guys Host to Post and not getting great results right now? Be honest. Because that's me. And I was like, this is dumb. I'm not doing Host to Post anymore. Did anybody of you guys do that? Because I did that, and that was dumb. Me saying that was dumb. Because here's why. You guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if they put the post up. It doesn't matter if they put the post up and no one comments on it. What matters is the message. Does that make sense? It doesn't even matter, like we sometimes obsess over like the wording, and we get so disgruntled if we're like, oh my gosh, they put up a post and no one's answering. It's not about the post. It's not about the post. It has to be just about that initial conversation and the reach out and the planting. And I don't know about you, but to me, it's so much more comfortable, right? Saying, hey, I don't know if it's for you, but I'm doing a giveaway. I don't know if you guys do giveaways or maybe you don't. Even maybe it's just a favor. But I am doing a big contest, and if you would be interested in an entry, I'd love for you to share a referral post for me, whatever your wording is, you know? So even if like they read it and don't respond, you guys, the seed's been planted. And remember what we said in the beginning, at some point, they're going to have a health and wellness goal. At some point, they're going to have a financial goal. It doesn't matter if it's right now. Your job is to plant the seed and to keep trucking. Imagine how bleak our world would be if farmers planted the seed and then waited to see it sprout before planting the next one. Like, man, it would be a sad world, wouldn't it? So we can't treat in our business that way. We can't treat post to post that way. And when I kind of had that like moment of like, okay, Lauren, you're being dumb. Post to post isn't dumb. You're being dumb. It's about just reaching out and having conversations. And post to post to me is just a really genuine, comfortable way to not ask for anything from them, but to indirectly allow them an opportunity to show interest. And it just kind of alleviates pressure on both ends. So even if you're doing post to post and you think it's not working, it's not about it working. It's about you working and just continuing to send those messages. So that's how I build my business and stories.
I love that. And I love it really because we, you know, I always say our core four is post, message, follow up, expand your network, and then keep yourself filled up, you know, is like the bonus extra. And like, that's really essentially everything you hit on. You know, you talked about posting, you know, at the beginning you said Facebook and you would do your different posts and do live videos, which you can still do. Now you do more Instagram and stories and things. When you do Instagram, Lauren, do you have something like, I don't think I heard you say like that you're like, okay, I like to get one Instagram post or two Instagram posts and X number of stories, or you just go by what you feel? Do you have anything like that?
Yeah. So not like rigid. I try to do at least one Instagram post a day, and my stories vary depending on like what I'm actually doing that day. I always include obviously something about the opportunity and something about the story or something about a product. It may not be like I may not do a full like 3 to 5 slides of the story and 3 to 5 slides of the product. That just depends. The opportunity maybe just dripped in me at Target, and I'm like, I'm so thankful for my business. I just enrolled a loyal customer because I can work from anywhere or whatever. And that may be my drip of the opportunity. But when I do share the product or the opportunity, I always try to do at least 3 to 5 slides and always include a call to action at the end.
I love that. I love that. And then what about if you're reaching out to people? So I know you utilize Host to Post. So when it comes to like wanting someone to join your team, do you just kind of have the call to action where they come to you, or are you more, hey girl, I think you'd be great at what I do? Like, do you have a method that you personally like to do with that?
Yeah, I do both. And you know, it's weird because I feel like there are seasons of like, sometimes people are really responsive to posts, other times they're not, and they're really responsive to messaging. So that's why I think it's just so important to do both. And kind of, you know, cover both territories. But my favorite message to send, and I'll share with you guys because it has something in it called Magic Words. There's the book, I think it's called Magic Words. I'll make sure I get you the right title, but there are 2 phrases in it. I don't know if it's for you, but, and then would you be open to? And those phrases dramatically changed the response rate that I got from messages. So when I send, and I predominantly message on Instagram.
You said, I don't know if you would be open to, and what's the other one?
Hold on, I'm gonna give you the whole stuff. So my message is, so I would say like, hey Sherilyn, I don't know if it's for you, but I'm expanding my business, and here's the key part, wherever they are. So figure out where they are. That's part of you making it, you know, a warm message. Let's dig a little bit and know who they are, wherever they are. I'm expanding my business in wherever you are, Texas. And I'm looking for a few busy, second super important word. We want busy people. They can't tell you they're too busy if you're looking for busy people, right? Busy moms, whatever they are. If they're a nurse, if they're a banker, if they're a teacher, whatever they are. I'm looking for busy, whatever they are. who would be interested in making some extra income from home on social media? Do you know anyone who may be open to learning more about an opportunity like this? So, and I can copy and paste and get that to you guys, or put it in the chat, or get it to Sherilyn. So what this has done for me is, okay, so that, I don't know if it's for you, but it's like giving them the kind of like, okay, so if I say it's not for me, I'm not going to hurt her feelings. So they don't ghost me as much, because sometimes they'll come back and say, definitely not for me, but tell me about this coffee you're talking about all the time. It's definitely not for me, but you know what? I do have a sister. One of our strongest Mexico distributors came from this. No, it's not for me, but I have an aunt who's in Mexico. So you just never know. So it also allows you, sometimes they'll say, well, I might know some people, can you tell me more? And it again allows you to give them more information with no pressure. And then you're describing them. So when you're saying things like where they are, what they are, and busy, in the back of their mind, their subconscious is going, well, I'm a busy mom and I could use some extra income from my social media, you know? So it's just planting the seed, and that message has changed everything for our business. So yeah, I send that. I don't message as much for customers first. I message typically as for a distributor first, and use that message, because if they don't, then what's likely going to happen, either conversation will continue and allow me to ask and extend the products by saying, you know, oh, are you familiar with their works? Have you heard of it before? Whatever. But a lot of times they've already seen my stories, because that's how I choose to message most of the time. So I know that they've seen what we have, and it often just gives them an opportunity to come back and say, well, tell me about this. And yeah, it's been a game changer for us.
I love that. And yes, I'll have you send the script.
Yeah, I'll send you my script.
I know I was like, I was writing it, but I think I missed a few words. So yeah, I'll post that, y'all, under the tips from the top slide on our page with Lauren's picture. But I love that. So good. So I love that. Yeah. So that you're posting your messaging, you're obviously following up. You talked about the importance of expanding your network. And I will tell you, anytime I get stuck in my business and my enrollments go down, it is typically when I haven't been expanding my network, when I haven't been adding new people, or new people aren't seeing my things. And I had someone ask me, well, who have you signed? Like, who are the people you signed? And I'm like, well, let me look back. And like, even this month, when I'm looking at the customers I've signed and the new distributors I've signed, it's all kind of newer people that I could pinpoint how I started following them. And most of them, it was like a friend of a friend who's not in the business, but I'm like, oh, it's so-and-so's friends. That girl is doing me. I keep signing up all her friends, but like, I'll look and like, and that's huge. So it's like, stop posting to the same 500 people. I love what Lauren said. She's like maxing out, on Facebook, like you can have 5,000 friends, add on Instagram, follow, like, places you're going, like follow every day. Like, even if you don't use the apps and do Cleaner and Crowdfire or whatever, I forget all the ones, the newer ones, but even if you're not doing all of that, like if you're just following 20 new people, 50 new people a day, I mean, that's like how many a week? I always look at it like that. And so, love that. Okay. Do you have any one like last tip you would give someone promoting this month? What would you say to them in closing?
Just make sure that when you go to bed, you make yourself proud. Like at the end of the night, it's ultimately up to you, and you only have to prove it to yourself, and you're already worthy and able. It's just up to you to, go get it. And I do want to say this one thing. I think a lot of times, when people are pushing for promotions, we like to say things like, they were waiting on God's time, right? Which there absolutely is a time and season for everything in our business. But what I would encourage you to think of, or your perspective, is to you're already here for a reason. Like, that is God's timing. You are here. The opportunity is now. You're not waiting on God to move. Like, it's been placed there, and it's about you moving now. So make sure that you go to bed at night and you're making yourself proud, and know that like it's your time. The opportunity's there and it's waiting, and go get it.
I love that. Yay. Thank you so much, girl. I love it.
You're so welcome.
Good tips and things. And I love your energy, and I just love, once again, even at the beginning, what you said is you had your belief first. And, you know, I think I said it on, I don't know, a live or something on our page recently, but Cami just said, you know, 90% of this business, like, is mental, you know, and it's so true. Like, it's your mind. You believe you can, you can. You believe you can't, you can't. And I guarantee you already went in saying, I'm going to do this. If these people could do it, I'm going to do this. So you had that belief, and so the action followed. So that's what I would say to those on here. Like, if that belief's not there, just get it. Just decide that, why not you? It's got to happen to someone. There's going to be more diamonds. There's going to be more doubles, triples. There's going to be more ambassadors. There's going to be more black diamonds. Like, so why not you? Why not your team? You know what I mean? Like I believe the Lord wants to bless this team, this group, people who have hearts for him. So why not you? Just decide, I can and I will. You're worthy of it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lauren. Bye,
You're so
everybody.
welcome, guys. Have a great night.